Okay, so today we are doing Countdown to STAAR Part 4. So let's look at number 1. Number 1 says Latrell is going to put chocolate ice cream in X bowls for his friends. So we have X bowls. He will put 0.75 cups of ice cream in each bowl. Which equation can be used to determine? So if it is, remember, per, each, and every mean what? They mean to multiply. So if it's 0.75 cups per each bowl, we're multiplying 0.75 times x, because we don't know how many bowls there are, right? There are x bowls. So this one doesn't have the multiplication, this one doesn't have the multiplication, and this one doesn't have the multiplication. So your answer is B. So then next it says the dot plot shows the amount of water that 15 students drank from a fountain during a break, and each dot represents one student. So how many dots are there? There are 15 total. Okay, so just making a note of that. A little bit bigger on my size. Okay, so then it says based on the dot plot, which statement is true? So the mode of the dot plot, remember that means the most represented, so that's going to be the tallest dots. The mode is greater than the median. Okay, so we have to find the median. So we're going to go front, back, front. We're going to start on the top, and then we're going to start on the bottom here. So we go from bottom to top on this side and from top to bottom on this side. Okay, so back, front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back. So your two middle numbers is 1/2 and 5/8. So we got to get a common denominator. So 2 times 4 is 8, and then 1 times 4 is 4. So 4/8 plus 5/8 is 9/8. Okay. The median is greater than the mode, so the mode is 5/8. And then this one is 9/8. And then after we add, remember we divide by 2. So we have to divide this by 2. We're going to keep, change, flip. So 9/8 times 2 over 1. 9 times 2 is 18, divided by 8. 18 divided by 8. 8 goes into this 2 times minus 16, which is 2/8 left over. Is 2 and 2/8 greater than 5/8? Yes, so this is false. The median is greater than the mode. Well, so we just said that the median was 2 and 2/8, and the mode is 5/8, so is that true? Yes. The median and the mode do not equal each other, and neither the median or the mode can be determined. Well, we did determine them. They're not equal. The median is greater. Number 3, 20 students were asked to name their preferred way to get to school each morning. The table on the right summarizes their responses. So which percent bar graph correctly represents the data represented in the students? So it says that 20 students, so that means total is 20. So let's look at your car. Your car is 7 out of 20. Remember, to get a percent, our percent has to be out of 100. So 20 times what equals 100? 20 times 5 equals 100. And what we do on the bottom, we have to do on the top. So then 7 times 5 is 35, which equals 35%. So this is 30, oops. Okay. This is 35% and this is 35%. 35 plus 35 is 10. That's 70% total, which means 6% is 100 minus 70, which is 30%. Okay, so looking here, car is 35%. That is correct. Walking or bike ride is supposed to be 30%, which is supposed to stop right here. So that's not correct. This one stops right here, so the walking is right. But if you look right here, the bike ride is wrong because it says 40%. Here, the car is 35%, so that's correct. And then here, this is 30%, which means that this is 35%. So your answer is C. Okay. Mrs. Starnes drives the same school bus along the same route every day of the week except for Saturday and Sunday. Which Saturday will most likely have variability during his work week? Okay, let's talk about the word variability. What does that mean? What does variability means? Most likely for changes. Okay, so when you see variability, something that can change. So the number of miles he drives on his bus route each day, does that change? No, because he drives the exact same route every single time. So, no. And then the number of seats in the bus. So do they take out seats and put in seats in the bus? No. The amount of money he is paid each day to drive the bus. Well, you get paid per hour. If it takes you're going the same rate, it's going to take the same time. Maybe. But probably not likely. And then the number of times he presses the brake pedal on the bus each day. Will that change? Yes. I don't think that we brake the same every single day. So that is your answer. Number 5. Mrs. Young determined that the leaky faucet in her bathroom drips 1 5/8 quarts of water each day. How many quarts of water does the faucet drip in 2 weeks? Okay, so it's 1 5/8 per day. How many days are in 2 weeks? There are 7 days in a week, so 7 times 2 is 14. Okay, and then what we probably want to do here is multiply 1 5/8 times 14. So we want to get an improper fraction. So 8 times 1 is 8 plus 5 is 13. So this should be 13 over 8 times 14. How do we make 14 into a fraction? We're going to put it over 1. Okay, and then multiply straight across and simplify. So you can go ahead and press pause and finish this one on your own. And then number 6. Hailey picked 3.78 kilograms of blueberries at her grandmother's farm. What number of grams is equivalent to kilograms? So on your STAAR chart, it tells you that 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. So that would be our ratio, 1 over 1,000. And it wants to know grams. How many grams, this is kilograms over grams. So how many grams is equivalent to 3.75? Okay, then you're going to cross multiply and divide. Okay, so now we're on the back. It says the label on the bottle of Juice X-Treme states that the bottle contains 15% of real fruit. How much is the percent of real fruit written as a decimal? So press pause and try that out, and press play when you have finished. Okay, so percent, this is where we do Dr. Pepper. If we're going from a percent to a decimal, we're moving to the left, and we move twice. So the thing is decimal placement. It lives at the end of your number, 1, 2. So So this would be 0.15. And go right here. Okay, and then number 2, Strom wrote a set of numbers on the index cards below, which lists the numbers in order from least to greatest. So on your number line, remember that if this is a 1, 0, -1. So the closer you get away from 0, the least you are. So -1/4 and -10 definitely are going to be our least numbers, but we got to know which one is the absolute least. Okay, so we want to get common denominators. So we have -1/4 and we have -1/10. What's a common denominator? I would probably say 40. So 4 times 10 gives you 40. And 1 times 10 gives you 10. And then 10 times 4 gives you 40. And 1 times 4 gives you 4. So comparing them, this one is bigger, but we're in the opposite world, so this one is less, right? It's further away from 0. So 1/4 is the least. So 1/4 has to be first, so that automatically marks out B and D. Okay, so then we go to 1/10, which is right. So then next I would look at your biggest numbers. Okay, so biggest numbers, or you're even, so 1/3, 1/3, 3/2, and 2 1/2. So we need to know what 3/2 is. So we're going to take 3 and we're going to divide it by 2. And it goes in 1 time, -2, 1 left over, 1 1/2. So it's 2 1/2 or 1 1/2 least, because we're ordering from least to greatest. 3 over 2, which is 1 1/2, is least. So this one is our answer. Okay, number 13, for every 7.5 miles that Alberto jogs, he walks 2 miles. Which answer choice can be used to help Alberto find the number of miles he will walk next month if he jogs 60? So it's saying 7.5 miles, he walks 2. So every 7.5, he walks 2 miles. Okay, and then it wants to know if he walks next month if he jogs 6 miles. So jogging, jog goes on top, walk goes on bottom, right? So if he jogs 60 miles, they want to know what X is. So first off, when we move from one ratio to another, it is always either multiplication or division. Okay, so know that when you move from ratio to ratio, you cannot add. Those are not a thing. So that automatically moves you out of 2 answer choices because we don't add. So we do multiply. And when we move from one ratio to another, do we ever multiply by different numbers or by the same number? We always multiply by the same number. So here, if you look, we started at 7/2 and we're ending at 60/16. So if we solve this, and do times 2, 7.5 times 2 is 15, that's correct. 7 times 2 is 4. So you see you're multiplying every single time by the same number, so that is your answer. And the last problem. Mrs. Herrera went fishing last week and he caught 9 small fish, 6 medium fish, 7 large fish, and 3 extra large fish. Which relative frequency table represents this information? So if he bought all those, we need to know how much total that is. So if we add all these numbers together, it's 9 plus 6 is 15, plus 7 is 22, plus 3 is 25. So 25. So that kind of makes our life a little bit easier because if we're looking at 9/25, remember all we have to do is multiply by 4. So is 9 times 4 36/100, which is 36%. That is correct. And then 6 over 25 multiplying by 4. 6 times 4 is 24%. And then 7 over 25 times 4. 7 times 4 is 28. And then 3 times 4 is 12. So just so happens that the first table we try is the correct answer. Okay, make sure you ask questions if you have any.